Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. A local supermarket's finally reopening just in time for Memorial Day weekend. WYLN's Ryan Osachi has the details.
3, 2, 1.
This morning in West Hazleton, Weis Markets held its grand reopening with a ribbon cutting. Firefighters and many others from the community gathered around to show support of Weis Markets getting back to where it once was. A fire shut down Weis back in December of 2021, but only 6 months later, Weis is back and better than ever.
This is a huge day for us. We've been here first in Hazleton and now West Hazleton since 1967. We've been here since 1996. It literally hurt not to be open and up and running in Hazleton, and hundreds of Weis associates moved heaven and earth to get this project done in record time. And what we've also done is we've used this as an opportunity to upgrade the store. We have a larger produce department with a more open design, new decor, expanded variety. Also, we added some additional dual-use lanes, which can be full service or self-checkout depending on the time. This is a great community. They've let us know in no uncertain terms that they can't wait for us to open, and we're just so happy to be here.
Chief Operating Officer at Weis Markets, Kurt Schertl, is very happy to be serving the community again and commends everyone involved with Weis Markets that helped get the company back on its feet during these trying times.
Well, they did an amazing job. Candidly, from the night where the fire took place, where our able assistant manager got all of our associates out of the store safely and got folks out of the PetSmart next door safely, to every one of them that worked hard, not only in our adjacent stores, but to get this thing back up and running. Really proud of how during those 6 months, as you may have seen on the lot, we kept our pharmacy open with a double wide trailer. I'm sure our pharmacists never thought they'd be operating out of a double wide trailer, but necessity breeds innovation, right? So between our gas station and our pharmacy trailer, we kept our business open. Those limited pieces of the business, and now we're back with the full supermarket. So we're really excited. Our team did a great job.
The biggest silver lining from this was the upgrades the store was able to make to better serve the community.
So between expanded beer and wine, expanded fresh food variety, expanded organic, natural, international, pharmacy, we have a drive-through coming within a month or two that'll make it even more convenient in the pharmacy. I think the sky's the limit for the store. Best store in Hazleton by far. And a lot to look forward to, and you don't have to look too far forward. This is a preview day, but we have people in here shopping now, and tomorrow's the grand reopening, so it's here.
Weis Markets in West Hazleton will officially reopen tomorrow morning, May 26th at 7 a.m., so be sure to stop by. Reporting in West Hazleton for WYLN News, I'm Ryan Osachi.
Thanks, Ryan. Dozens of animals were rescued after flames swept through the rear of a home Tuesday morning in Black Creek Township. Firefighters were called to a home just after 11 yesterday morning for a fire that sparked at 536 Hazel Street. Flames and smoke could be seen spreading throughout the home, which took crews about 30 minutes to totally snuff out. No one was home when firefighters arrived, and no injuries were reported. Dozens of pets, including many rats, a few cats, some ferrets, fish, and a turtle were rescued. But sadly, 2 ferrets didn't make it. Officials say the fire appeared to have started at the rear door of the home, and that the inside of the home suffered smoke and water damage. A state police fire marshal is investigating the cause of that fire in Black Creek Township. A Freeland man accused of shooting 5 teens during a fight at a Hazleton house party was in court this morning. The incident happened back on March 6th at 182 South Wyoming Street around 1 a.m. The shooter, 20-year-old Frangel Garcia Andujar, fired well over a dozen rounds from a 9mm pistol and struck 5 juveniles. One of the 5, 17-year-old Stanley Jimson Jr., was transported to the Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton, where he died from his injuries. An autopsy revealed that the Hazleton area high school senior died from a gunshot wound to the upper torso, and his manner of death was ruled a homicide. Garcia Andujar was jailed without bail after being charged with criminal homicide, criminal attempt to commit homicide, aggravated assault, and recklessly endangering another person. A Swarsville woman's out on bail after freezing dozens of newborn kittens to death in Plains Township. Luzerne County SPCA humane officers were called to the apartment of 52-year-old Susan Veronica Cheslick back in March for a large number of animals living in deplorable conditions. Over 30 cats were removed from the apartment. A few weeks later, another call came in about 28 newborn kittens that were found in her freezer. A vet examined the deceased kittens, found with pink noses and mouths, which indicated that they were alive prior to being placed in the freezer. Cheslick faces over 100 charges, including 27 felony counts of aggravated cruelty to animals, among other cruelty and animal neglect charges. She was released on $50,000 unsecured bail and is due back for a preliminary hearing in June. 21 people, including 19 children, were killed Tuesday morning in what's now known as the second deadliest shooting in Texas. Authorities say the shooter, identified as 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, legally purchased 2 AR platform rifles and 375 rounds of ammunition prior to entering Robb Elementary, armed and wearing body armor just after 11:30 Tuesday morning. Department of Public Safety officials say that Ramos shot his grandmother, whom he presumably lived with, before heading to the school. Ramos was killed by a tactical agent responding to the scene after he exchanged gunfire with law enforcement. Texas Rangers are leading the investigation into the shooting. Today's Dunkins Iced Coffee Day, and sipping on one can benefit both you and children battling illness in hospitals. $1 from every iced coffee sold in NEPA will benefit the Geisinger Janet Weis Children's Hospital. Their promotion is part of the Dunkin' Joy in Childhood Foundation to bring joy to kids battling illness. Guests can customize their coffee any way they like. However, the cold brew and nitro cold brew are excluded from the promotion. Wyln's Mackenzie Ocker has the story behind a crafty 91-year-old Korean War veteran and how he got his start.
When you step into 91-year-old Russell Masteller's room, who is a resident at the Laurels in Hazelton, the first thing you'll notice is all the artwork on the walls. Masteller has been a resident at the Laurels for 9 years and recently got back into crafting 2 years ago.
There's the craft activity woman had set up their craft show, and then I started.
In 1960 is where he started making crosses when he saw them at a craft show in Lancaster. It took him a month to make the first one, and since then, his crafts have been given to staff and many others at the Laurels.
Every nurse that I have their rooms full of crafts. In fact, the fish over there I gave to her. To all of the fish, there's 9 or 10.
Masteller's crafts have even made it across the country. He tells us how they've made their way to many states.
People come in when they went to see their mothers, and I would sit down outside under the roof, and I would meet them, and they would be here a week or two, and I would make them something before they went back.
You may be thinking Masteller gets his ideas from TV, newspapers, or magazines. When in reality, he doesn't pay attention to any media outlets. All the inspiration comes from within and tells us what his favorite crafts are to make.
I just have a thing for rocks since I started it. Any rock, I can make something out of it.
Masteller also served in the Korean War, where he would go out on the front lines and bring in wounded soldiers. This past Veterans Day, he made gifts for the vets at the Laurels.
I made him a pin for Veterans Day.
Wow.
That was the only thing that the vets got from here.
If you ever find yourself at the Laurels, make sure to visit Masteller so he can tell you all about his crafts. Reporting in Hazelton for Wyln News, I'm Mackenzie Ocker.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Coming up on WYLN News, details on the new moon meteor shower, plus more on our special Memorial Day programming. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kits. We'll be right back.
My name is Alexander Vinoho. I'm 12 years old, and this is your WYLN forecast for the week.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
How you doing, everybody? This is Ricardo Santos from J Zapata. You remember this old monster? Well, we're moving into a building. It's a big restaurant. Come and check us out. This is what we had on our menu. Regular burrito. We have the taco americano. Let's go with the Mexicans. They don't have a sombrero, but there you go. Corn tortilla, gluten-free. This is the birria tacos, enchiladas, nachos, flan, 3 leches. That is right. Come at 620 Hillside Drive, grand opening of J Zapata Mexican Restaurant. Whoop, whoop.
The waning days of May also come with a waning moon that could set the stage for an impressive meteor shower. Monday night's new moon will line up perfectly with a lesser-known meteor shower called the Tau Herculids, formed by a comet from the constellation Hercules that was discovered in 1930. Not typically an impressive one, except that in 1995 it fragmented into hundreds of different pieces while returning to Earth's solar system. Scientists estimate that we'll go through the dense portion of the debris field the night of May 30th, which will be almost right overhead around 11 p.m. for a brief time. However, NASA stated it'll be boom or bust. Either we get thousands of meteors per hour or none whatsoever. Monday also happens to be my 27th birthday, so fingers crossed for a clear night sky. WYLN will be saluting those who have bravely served our country with special Memorial Day programming over the weekend. Starting this Sunday, May 29th, WYLN will be broadcasting specials with discussions ranging from the Korean War to Vietnam veterans and a musical salute to service. Then on Memorial Day, Monday, May 30th, we'll also be adding World War II, Normandy, and a special Memorial Day newscast into the mix. Our special programming schedule will be running from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday and 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Monday. So join us this Memorial Day weekend as we honor our veterans right here on WYLN TV. Coming up on Stillwater's News Choice, we bring back summer preparedness on this Wellness Wednesday, plus Leading the Way, Part 3. And stay with us for everything else we have lined up for you later tonight on WYLN TV.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Chura's Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in 610 North Broad Street, West Hazleton, 570-454-7229.
Penn State Hazleton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
This is it, the don't miss, can't miss weekend of the year. It's NASCAR time at Pocono Raceway. And you gotta be there. This is summertime. This is racing. This is the place to be. This is Pocono. NASCAR Weekend, July 22nd to 24th at Pocono Raceway. You gotta be there for this.
Abby is still perfecting her sidekick, and her jab is just for show. But for Abby, this is a remarkable day, because Abby recently defeated a real foe, cancer, when she partnered with Lehigh Valley Riley Children's Hospital, a children's hospital close to home with more than 30 pediatric specialties. Take a bow, Abby. You deserve it. Lehigh Valley Riley Children's Hospital. Your health deserves a partner.
Welcome to Community and You here on WYLN. I'm Julia Wiegand, and if you haven't checked your calendar, it is Wednesday, which means it's Wellness Wednesday, thanks to our friends over at Lehigh Valley Health Network. And speaking of, we are on location at the Health and Wellness Center here in Hazleton with the therapy department. Now, with the therapy department, we have Philip Weaver specifically with us. How you doing, Philip?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And he's here to talk summer preparedness. Now, I know that it's super hot outside and everyone wants to be outside, but going from getting stir crazy, being stuck in quarantine to now, how should people expect to feel once they start getting out there?
Right, so we've all been kind of having this cabin fever and we're all anxious to get outside. We're now in the green, things are improving, places are opening up, so people will be out and be active. One thing to keep in mind is you can't start going at this 100% full speed. Everyone's been sitting most of the time, or maybe if you have the availability to exercise at home, you can, but we have to start thinking about getting back into the exercising. So I always encourage people, if you're a runner, you're a biker, you're doing things outside actively, you have to warm up a little bit. Warming up is important, so your muscles are prepared to move into work. Things like stretching also, to make sure that they're loose and they're not tight. So as you're running, you're not going to pull a hamstring or something. I encourage people to also think about, it's summertime, it's very, very hot out. So hydration is very important. You want to keep hydrated. If you're going to be out for a long period of time, take some with you. You're going on a hike through the woods. Worst thing to do is to get dehydrated out there and nobody knows where you're at and you have no water. Right. Eating, as odd as it sounds, is important too, because if you think about the summertime, we're all swimming, we're excited, we're in the pool. You want to give your food some time to digest so you're not getting cramps, while you're swimming or being active. And also think about just the amount of activity. You don't want to go at things full force. You're not going to go out and run a marathon your first day. You have to build your endurance back up. Since we have been kind of cooped up, our endurance, our capacities have gone down, so we have to build that up slowly, to regain that strength, the endurance, to do longer activities. And also encourage people, it's summertime, we need sunscreen, we need protection from the sun, we need hats, whatever the case may be. Don't go out and get sunburned, protect yourself. And as you're working out, you're doing things outside, you feel something funny that's not normal. Normal soreness is one thing, but you start to feel things that aren't natural, not something usual. If they're persisting, they're not going away for a few days, that's something you want to reach out to your doctor, contact your family doctor, have it checked out. Maybe you'll be coming in to see physical therapy or something. But don't let an injury linger like that and hold you back if it's not something normal.
Now, along the lines of not something normal, it's one thing when you just kind of get up and you're a little sore just because you haven't moved a lot, but say you warmed up or didn't warm up, and what is the severity of that something funny actually being something serious, and when they should be contacting, either their family physician or getting a referral for you guys over at the therapy center?
I usually give people kind of a rule of thumb is, if it's kind of that soreness, you're working through it and it gets better in a few days, or it's you can work through it, but it's not impeding your daily routine, it's one thing. If it's starting to change the way you do things, you're avoiding things because your foot's sore, your ankle's sore, or you can't do this activity or go up and down stairs because your back's starting to hurt every time you do it. You notice something has changed and it won't go away. It's persisting with pain, with affecting your daily life. That's when I would tell people to go and see the doctor.
And along the lines of hydration, it is, hot as we speak out here, very sunny. And I know they say, don't wait until you're thirsty to start drinking water. How should people be going about staying hydrated?
I believe it was it 4 or 5 8-ounce cups a day. There's also a rule out there according to your body weight you can find out, but you definitely want to hydrate before the fact, because when you're already working out and you're sweating, you're already losing water at that point. Your body's going through it, so you need to, drink regularly water throughout your day. But if you're going to be active, I would try to get a good amount of water at least before the activity, so that your body has it available. So when you're sweating and your body's demanding it, it's already in your system.
And with hydration and water comes your food intake. Is there something that people should be, leaning more towards than less towards? Even along the lines of like with drinks, they should obviously lean towards water instead of soda when it comes to hydration for summer hunger.
That's right. Well, if you're going to be active, you want to have good food. Good food should be an anytime type of thing, but if you're going to be out and active, avoid the heavy sugary foods. You want something that's going to last longer. For running and long endurance things, of course, you want your carbs, proteins and carbs. Proteins you can use early. Carbs are for the longer lasting activities that kind of draw out. Yeah, sugars, things like that is going to set you up for failure. Watch out for that. Greasy foods, if you're going to be out running and stuff like that, usually don't work out well for activity. So just be smart and use your good judgment, good foods.
Now, if there's one big thing you want viewers watching right now to take away from this little segment that we have right now, when it comes to hydration, food, preparedness, making sure that you don't keel over in the middle of the summer when you should be having fun.
Don't forget about it. It's so easy right now, I think, to overlook all of that. I think that's the biggest mistake. Everyone wants to just dart right out there and get into activities that they've been missing doing, and people typically wind up forgetting to prepare. So I would encourage you, even make a list of things. Did I hydrate? Did I eat properly? Did I, kind of just glance it over and look through the list before you go out into all this activity, because I think that's probably going to be the biggest pitfall. Everyone's so anxious to get out there.
Well, thank you so much, Philip, for talking with us today.
You're welcome. Pleasure to be here.
And thank you, everybody watching out there. Remember, summer is here, summer is fun, we are out, but be prepared. It is hot, we haven't been walking in a while, and you might end up hurting yourself or making things a little bit worse. And you might have to visit physical therapy at some point. Well, that's it for this Wellness Wednesday in Community and You. We'll see you next time here on Wyln.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Have you ever experienced that super pushy salesperson who follows you all around? Not here.
Or wandered around that big box store looking for help in the appliance department, only to find the pink guy? Not here.
And we have an experienced, courteous sales staff here to help you find the perfect mattress, piece of furniture, or appliance with no pressure.
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Something is out there. What it is, no one knows. However, since its first sighting, there have been numerous reports of strange lights in the night sky. Some say they are extraterrestrials, flying saucers. But to all of those seemingly unrelated uncertainties, there is one common thread.
Solo Spaceman on WLN TV 35. Thursdays at 1:30, Saturdays at 4, Sundays at 9.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
WYLN's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Michelle Riley's leading the way into part 3 of this week's series.
Welcome to Leading the Way, Part 3. This week we are featuring Michelle Riley, and she's gone from growing up in Mountaintop to getting involved with Leadership Wilkes-Barre. Then she built a theater. Well, sort of built a theater with Leadership Wilkes-Barre, and that is Phoenix Theater in Duryea.
Correct.
Wow. And you may have seen her before joining us, talking about her role as Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar. How did that come about?
Well, that came about after we finished our project. You know, we were kind of doing some remodeling and facelifting throughout the theater. New staging, new seating, new lobby, just really freshening up and making it nice for the kids. It's so great that there are so many kids there, even with disabilities, you know, physical and mental disabilities, that are still so welcome on the stage there, and they do such a great job. And it's a beautiful place, and these kids call this home. This is home for them. When we did finish the project, Lee, the director, she's fabulous, she said, would you be interested in auditioning? She said she would like me to. It was going to be an all-female cast.
Yes.
So I did not know which
Another
part.
groundbreaking experience.
Had no idea what part I would be auditioning for, but they gave me the part of Judas, and I'm forever grateful because it was just the perfect part for me, and I would never want to play another part.
Now, you told us in a previous episode here of Leading the Way that you started with music because your mom was involved in church.
Correct.
So now you've got mom, music, church, Jesus Christ Superstar. Did you ever think?
It all comes. No, I didn't. No, I did not. I had no clue.
That all of a sudden all of this would come to pass?
No. I wish if we had that crystal ball. It just sort of evolved. And once again, you know, all these dots connecting and leading towards something that you just have to have faith and trust and gratitude, and it all happens.
Have you ever done anything in theater before?
I've not.
That was your
my
first.
Yes.
All-female cast, Jesus Christ Superstar, you as Jesus, first time on the stage.
Yes. Judas, yes.
First time on the stage.
Yes, it was.
What was that like?
Fun, exciting. It was like, you know, you're alive, you know. Challenging, very challenging, because it was also a physical, you know, portion to that role besides vocal.
Yes.
But, you know, exhausting, you know, after Tech Week especially, you know, you're putting on the show every single day, Tech Week, and then 3 shows in a row, and then you feel like you got hit by a truck the next day. But challenging is good.
Then they got waylaid by COVID, but you were able to finally bring it back.
Bring it back for the revival, which was very special. Not as much to learn that second time around, but or memorize, but we got it down and it was fun. It was just a blast. I'm so grateful for that opportunity.
So we've learned so far that Michelle is a risk taker. Yes, very much so a risk taker. So when we come back tomorrow on Leading the Way, we're going to talk about some of those risks that she takes and also the singing voice. That's tomorrow on Leading the Way.
And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page, YouTube page, or at WYLNTV.com. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.